This is the One Episode Rule, a podcast about first impressions. I am Magpie. Sorry about missing last week. Too
It
busy watching
happens.
Golden Kamuy. Finished season 3. I'm
We
eating it
couldn't
so fast.
we couldn't make it to the podcast because he was watching Golden Kamuy and we couldn't get him to stop. We couldn't pry him away from screen.
The funny thing is I only watch one episode a day, but then I go onto Wikipedia about the historical events involved for 12 hours.
Yeah, it's a
Amazing.
time-consuming endeavor.
And then I log and then every night at 7 o'clock I get in the group Discord and I tell everyone about everything I know about like the Strait of Tartary.
Yeah. I'll just get like several messages in the middle of the day and I'm like, it's Golden Kamuy time.
It's like, did you know that the Niv people traditionally make clothing out of fish skin?
Graham's fighting a tiger this week.
This Russian woman is fighting a full-grown Siberian tiger.
It's good. It's fine. Anyhow.
Anyway, how are you guys?
I'm Blackle. I'm doing pretty good. Kind of sleepy today. We had a power outage for like 2 hours, 2 or 3 hours.
Doesn't it fuck you up? It like fucks up your whole day, kind of, because you're just.
It
like,
does.
Wow.
It did fuck up my whole day because I was planning to like get work done, and then my work machines just wouldn't run because I had no power.
Yeah, unfortunate.
Yeah, that was my day. But I hung out with my roommate a little bit. We watched. We listened to a CD because she had a USB powered CD player of all things.
Ooh,
and she had a USB
power
power bank. So
nice, neat.
Sounds like a good time.
Not anime related.
Yeah, well, you can't always do anime. Hi, I'm Joey. Being very bad at. I'm the worst little student of the craft who hasn't watched like anime things aside from the podcast. For like a good few weeks now. It's just I had to like look at tax information a day. What is that? What is wrong?
You gotta pick up a new stupid series to balm your soul when you have to do grown-ass person things.
Desperately need to. I need to pick one of the ones we've seen recently, I think, because we've watched some pretty good ones recently.
You should tell me how Baki the Grappler is going.
I don't know if I'm going back to Baki the Grappler is the thing. Like I had my time there. It served its purpose. But I don't know if I'm going there again is the thing.
Come on, I need to know if fighting the imaginary 7-foot-tall praying mantis helped him.
You gotta know about Pickle, right?
I gotta know about Pickle.
Yeah, I don't know. It might not be.
That might actually get me to watch more.
You gotta know.
I just want to see modern martial artists fight an actual caveman.
Anyhow.
Do you guys want some news?
Sure.
I have I had news for last week that I'm throwing out most of because it's not super important, but I've replaced it with some of the most insane shit that I've seen.
Ooh,
looking for news for a while. All right, I'm gonna hit you. We're gonna make this a bad news sandwich because there's one slightly negative thing in there. I'll put it in the middle.
Okay.
We're gonna start off with the creators of Beyblade wanted to be an Olympic sport.
Oh
God,
they should do that. Actually, they should.
Mr. Horikoshi, one of the key designers behind Beyblade, has expressed a unique vision for the game while speaking to Metro. He sees Beyblade's possibility as a gear-assisted sport akin to golf or skateboarding.
Whoa, that's amazing.
Our mission is to make sure we continue innovating as the years progress, even without it being an Olympic sport. We just want to make sure people can globally have the chance to really appreciate and play with each other. This on the heels of me seeing on Twitter a man from like Pakistan or Iran who made his own Beyblade kit
Yes.
out of like industrial rotor gears and plumb bobs, and he spins them up with like a power drill, so they're going so fast that whenever they hit the big iron cauldron he's using, they just make spark. And he was like squirting lighter fluid on there, and the residual heat was causing it to catch fire.
Beyblade that actually kills you.
Beyblade that takes your fucking fingers off if you try and grab it too soon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Here's an actual news item. This is from a little bit ago, so we didn't really strike while the iron is hot. But Crunchyroll disables comments across its entire platform after receiving backlash from the community. Now, this is now there are two reasons here. There are the reasons they're going to tell you, and then there's a secret reason you might be able to figure out.
I have suspicions.
Which is and admittedly, this did happen. They were there was a review bombing of an ongoing yaoi anime, Twilight Out of Focus, where some people were saying some genuinely nasty things about it. That just happened to coincidentally drop at the same time as they premiered a beloved comedy anime, My Dear Friend Nokotan, with fucking AI subtitles that are unintelligible garbage.
That's the suspicion I had. Yikes. Fucking Crunchyroll.
Mm-hmm. It's just like good excuse to just turn off comments on the entire platform.
Yep. You can't critique. You can't criticize us.
You can't make me believe it was about the homophobia.
Yeah. Because they could have just disabled the for the one series.
Finally, onto some of the most insane bullshit you'll ever hear, which is the truck industry is now blaming isekai anime and manga for giving them a bad reputation.
Oh my god.
Yes!
I don't know how that's possibly true because they're like everyone's like
everyone wants to meet Truck-Kun.
Everyone wants to meet Truck-Kun, exactly.
In one of the most insane public statements I have ever read from a human. A business owner from Shizuoka Prefecture argued that repeated exposure to scenes, particularly in isekai anime and manga, where trucks were often depicted causing fatal traffic accidents, is creating a negative association with trucks, especially for young audiences. Quote, there's a well-known brainwashing technique called subliminal messaging. It is being used to imprint on the human subconscious, then the aforementioned scenes which we naturally see on TV and in manga from a childhood are ample material to form a fear of dislike or trucks and the like. Considering that people emotionally invest in these stories, the effect is tremendous.
The effect is tremendous. You know, I maybe they're right, and if that's the case, I'm actually in favor of more isekai being made to kill the truck industry faster.
Listen.
Kill them.
My man, you cannot be saying this shit.
Kill them faster. Less trucks.
People are going to say that you have lost your fucking mind. Just go back to managing your fucking shipping business.
Oh man.
This right after like in the small time that I played ZZZ, me just pointing at key trucks that I found in the environment and saying, key truck.
And also the motorbikes that will kill you.
Oh yeah, the 3-wheeler that'll kill you, but and
different energy.
Finally, new property by girl we like to hear from, Power Itagaki, known for Beastars, is getting an anime adaptation. Ooh. Would you like the rundown on Sonda?
Yes, please.
Because this will apparently be adapted by Science Saru.
Okay.
Let's see. Here's the Wikipedia description. On December 25th, when it was snowing, middle school student Sonda Kazushige's body seal was broken by his classmate, Fuyumura Shiori, making him look like Santa Claus. Later, Sonda discovers he can change back into his middle school form by eating jelly beans or change into Santa form by wearing red.
What the hell?
Holy shit, we get another Christmas anime.
The reason why Fuyumura lifted the seal was that she hoped that Sonda would help find her missing classmate Ono Ichie, and also hoped that he would remind society of Christmas.
Whoa.
All right, Paru. Sure. Do it.
Like, that's the best news I've ever heard.
It's amazing.
Do we have any images of this yet?
Just the cover, but I just navigated away from it, so I have to look it up.
We'll see it. We'll see it later. Thank God.
So, do you guys want to know what I've got lined up for tonight?
Yes, please tell us.
We're going to be watching Sasaki and Peeps.
And Peeps.
And Peeps.
Yay!
Right.
That's because you. Who is that?
It's Peeps.
It's Peeps.
Now listen, I know that little bird is cute, but pet ownership is a big responsibility. Are you prepared for it to talk to you in the night and tell you it came from another world? Are you prepared to buy it Wagyu beef?
Yeah, you gotta feed your tiny little sparrow only the finest of marbled
finest marbled
only
Kobe
the most
beef.
Decadent.
He demands it.
He demands it. And given the way he eats, I think he's serious. But
yeah.
But yeah, you want to hit this blurb?
Yep, I got it. Sasaki, a 39-year-old corporate employee, has resigned himself to live a modest life without dreams and dangers. To his great surprise, his fate takes a brutal turn after he decides to adopt a Java sparrow that he names Pichan. Peeps in the English dub, if you watched that. The talking bird not only happens to be a reincarnation of a famous magician from another world, but it decides to grant some of its powers to Sasaki, along with the ability to traverse between worlds. Sasaki begins a lucrative business of selling technological items from his world to the less advanced civilization of the other. However, Sasaki's life becomes more chaotic when he stops an attempt on a woman's life with his new powers. Unfortunately, the woman Sasaki saved also happens to be a government agent named Hoshizaki, who is tasked with taking down gifted individuals like him. Forced to join Hoshizaki's secret agency, Sasaki partakes in dangerous missions to find other gifted criminals. He does not even have the luxury of hiding in the other world, where a war is about to break out. If he wants to protect peace in both worlds, Sasaki will have to become the hero that no one expects him to be.
So much happens to this poor man. This
show is a lot. I'm going to tell you all.
I love the narrative tension line of this, of just the very slow snowball.
Yes. Because you're just like, oh, this is going to be a funny slice of life. No, it's going to be an isekai. No, it's going to be a mystery. What?
So what's going on here is we open on Sasaki. Sasaki is a nearly 40-year-old salaryman. He's a nice salaryman.
Yes.
He doesn't really begrudge his lot in life. And he's got a stable job, but it doesn't pay very much. But he doesn't have to work a lot of overtime.
Comfortable.
He's a comfortable, normal man.
Yes.
He's normal man.
Normal man. We love this.
He's Larry from Pokemon.
I'm not gonna lie, I find normal man more relatable than a lot of the anime protagonists we see on this show.
I like Sasaki as a person.
Yes.
He's a little dull, but he's also got just enough comedic sense.
Yeah.
to know how to time a joke.
Yeah.
He's an incredible straight man.
He's good, and he loves critters, and I like that.
And he's good-hearted. So yeah, Sasaki works at just it's a very regular Japanese trading company. They're not particularly known for anything. They just move goods.
Yep.
He even works in the accounting. It seems like the accounting department. So he's
Probably
just working
something
with
like that, yeah.
numbers and ledgers. Like
Yep.
he goes to work, he sits in front of a computer, and he does math.
Mm-hmm.
He files forms and stuff.
Yep.
And he's content with that. And he helps out his co-highs at the company,
Mm-hmm.
with forms and stuff. And the first time we see him sort of break his normal man persona is that the girls seated behind them are discussing their cats. And at first he seems really irritated, but then you
Mm-hmm.
notice that she's just like, "Oh, I'll send you a video of her, my cutest video of her," and you realize that he's like blushing and like trying to lean over his shoulder and look at the video.
He wants to see the kitty cat.
He
He
wants
loves
to
the
see
kitty
it.
cat.
And the guy sitting next to him is just like, "Oh, senpai, you like cats?" And he's just like, "I'm more of a dog person, actually." Um,
He's not fooling anyone. He loves the
um,
kitty cats. He loves a puppy dog.
he loves animals.
He loves a critter.
Um, and so he goes after work. He does go to the pet store. He doesn't. The guy does invite him to dinner, doesn't he? Or does that happen later? Doesn't matter.
Sometime in there.
But he does say, he's just like, "Oh no, I can't afford that." And he
Yeah.
goes to the pet store, and he's just like, "Oh, look at the cats! They're so great because they've got the cat cubicles." And then
Mm-hmm.
he sees the price on them to begin adoption. He's just like, "Oh man, that's some
Oh
sticker
no.
shock.
Uh-oh.
Oh man, I can only look at you guys. I don't have
Yeah.
quite my salary isn't quite enough, and
Mm-hmm.
my deposit on my apartment will go up."
Yeah.
And while he's pondering over this, he does hear, "Pick me, pick me, pick me," and he's just like, "Huh?" And he naturally just sort of follows this to the bird aisle, which is interesting because some pet stores do like value birds and like reptiles and shit, or
Mm-hmm.
and fish, lower than mammals.
Even though they're
Um,
technically usually harder work.
Sometimes they're harder work.
It just
Although some birds are
depends.
dumb as fuck, and you just have to feed them and
Yeah.
make sure they don't shit up their cage too
In
bad.
this case, it's a sparrow, and I do think sparrows tend to be on the lower maintenance end.
Sparrows as a whole actually usually aren't household pets, but
Yeah,
also
I've seen
aren't
sparrows,
very smart.
finches. No.
They're just
Well,
bird intelligence.
they're just,
They're not like parrots.
yeah, they're pretty little critter that you look at sometime.
I would probably put them in like the same intelligence bracket as like a canary, and people keep
Yeah.
canaries.
People keep canaries.
But
People keep, like, finches, like I said.
mhm.
Uh,
um, and yeah, he finds a Java sparrow. This is the most anime ass pet bird I have ever seen. He's got a
Yeah.
star on
He's
his
got a
chest, on his
perfect
breast.
star on his chest. He's very
He's
cute.
got perfect stars in his eyes at all times.
He's adorable.
And he's just like, "Huh, Java Sparrow." And then he's like, "Pick me, pick me." And he's just like, "Oh, you're adorable." He's just like, "Pick me." And he's just like, "Oh shit, the little hops."
Oh, he's so cute. And then you
And the
see him,
next,
like, going home with the.
yeah, the next scene is him walking out with a bird.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, he brings them home. He runs into the next door girl, who isn't a big part of this episode, but she's worth mentioning. And
She
he's
seems
just
like
like,
she's
"Oh
gonna
yeah,
come into play at some point.
oh yeah." We didn't actually open on the first scene because that's where she is, where he's leaving in the morning and he's trying to take his garbage out, and he's just like, "No, crows don't eat the garbage." Um,
Yeah.
but but yeah, he sees her that, and then so they know each other. They speak
Mm-hmm.
occasionally. And he goes into his apartment. He's just like, "All right, I'll set up your cage here." It's just like, I hope the ride wasn't too rough for you. I tried to keep from jostling you." And he's got like a bird cage and like a bird transportation device.
Yeah.
And this is a strange experience for me, having purchased live birds, but livestock birds and not pet birds. The bird transportation box I am familiar with is the Chicken McNuggets box full of baby chickens
Yeah. Just a
who
cardboard box,
spend
usually.
the entire time screaming.
Yeah, they do.
eep, 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 eep.
Yes.
Um, yeah, and he lines it up, and he's just like, okay, get in your cage. Yeah, just like, oh yeah, you're gonna hop in there. Oh, you're adorable. And he sets everything down, and he's like clearly ready to like rest up for the evening. And he's sitting there, and he's looking at the bird, and he's just like, man, you're a cute guy. I should give you a name. And let me just hit my anime list really quickly.
I think
Okay, it doesn't give his real name.
I think his name was Pierre Carlo.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to ballpark it, but he's just like, yeah, I should give you a name. And he goes over and he says, he's just like, yeah, what's a good name for you? And the bird says, my name is Pierre Carlo. I'm the reincarnated star sage. And he says, ah, yes, I see. It's just like, so what would be a good name for you?
He's like, I've heard that some birds can have
I've heard
quite
that
the
some birds
vocabulary.
can talk. You're quite impressive. It's just like they told me at the store, if you trusted me, then you'd walk on my hand, but holding a conversation with me, that's really special. He's really.
He
I'm
does
sorry.
not.
I just saw a character name in my anime list, which makes me think even more horrible shit is going to happen to this man.
Oh boy.
Another genre has struck the anime.
Oh my fucking god. How
I
many
feel so
genres
bad
can
for
they
him.
put into this magical bird anime?
But yeah, he's just like, yeah. And the bird is just like, my name is Piancarlo.
Yeah.
He's just like, Piancarlo. Peeps. Peeps would be a good name.
That's a
Yeah,
great name
Peeps.
for you.
And the bird's just like,
The bird gives up at this point. It never comes back. The bird
never
gives up
comes
on
out.
trying to let this man learn his name. He just becomes Peeps forever.
Truly the Star Sage is just like, I guess I'm fucking Peeps.
I guess I'm Peeps now. Fuck.
And he really lays it out for him in the most like clear way he can. It's just like, I am a reincarnated magician from another world, and he's just like, yep, this is a for real ass conversation I'm having with a bird.
He is so nonplussed by this like fact drop.
He's just like, wow, you can talk a lot.
Man.
Yeah, he's literally the chillest. He's like, I guess this is my life.
He doesn't really believe him until he does the thing, because he's just like, I've decided that I'm going to share some of my power with you.
Well, we have to
Master.
discuss the fact that they have like a conversation. He's like, you need to feed me the finest of steaks.
Oh yeah,
And-
he's just like, yeah. Because he's just like, what, you can't. He's just like, you need Kobe beef. It's just like, why do you want that? It's just like, well, the guy who managed the store said it was the best food.
It's
And
like, what about your pellets?
And he's just like, you can't eat your pellets. He's just like, they're quite foul. He's just like, oh, nobody wants to eat bad food. But let me tell you, bird, I can't afford Kobe beef.
The bird says a line to the effect of, simply earn more money.
Simply make more money. If money is an object, simply create more of it. And cap wizard Peeps.
It's very funny. It's very funny.
Who taught him magic? The fucking Telvanni? But anyway. He's just like, well, what do you mean? It's like, I don't make that much. I'm not really on course for a promotion or anything. It's just like, and just like, well, maybe I'll share with you some of my power, because it's been my dream since I awoke in this form to return to my homeland and to live and to live life as I please. And he's just like, that's such a simple revelation, but I understand the gravity of coming to it on your own. It's just like, you shouldn't let others tell you how to live.
Yep.
He says to a bird in a cage.
To a bird. I mean, imagine if you woke up as a bird.
Imagine if you woke up as a Java sparrow.
As in another world.
With the full power of human speech. He's just like, I'm going to share some of my power with you. And he does so. A big magical rune shows up in front of Sasaki, and he's just like, oh, wait, is this real?
Yeah.
Were you not bullshitting me?
This contract is sealed.
It's just like, I see. And he's just like, now could you open this door? And he's just like, oh yes, of course. Because if an animal is speaking to you as a person, your natural reaction as like a human being who isn't rude as fuck is to just be like, oh, of course I won't leave you in the cage.
Yeah, of course I can do that.
You're a
Uh-huh.
speaking, reasoning person. And it's just like, and you kind of forget that he's a fist-sized bird. But yeah, he lets him out and he climbs up on his shoulder and he's like briefly starstruck. He's just like, "Oh, that's so cute. I got a sparrow
Uh-huh.
on my shoulder." And he's just like, "Now let me show you my home." And he's just like, "What?" And they fucking teleport. Uh, Now this would be the beginning of a bog standard isekai, but that's not the kind of man Sasaki is, and that's not the kind of person Peeps wants to be anymore.
And
Peeps
that's
doesn't appear to
not the
want
kind of anime that we're watching.
he doesn't I don't think he wants to be a hero. I
Yeah.
think Peeps wants to live a leisurely life now.
And
He's
Sasaki
tired of
kind of
being a
does
living.
too.
He does. He doesn't want to be
Yeah.
ground up in the corporate drone world
Mhm.
anymore. He wants to live a relaxed life.
Yeah. So
So
like this is
so
like the
instead
perfect
of
pair up.
instead of him having to like become the Yusha and take the sword to the Demon King, the next scene is just him at work the next morning.
Yep.
And his the guy beside his desk is just like, "Wow, you don't seem like a real go-getter. You got here before any of us." And he's just like, "Oh yeah, you know." He's just like, "What are you doing? Rise and grind? Are you going to the gym or something?" He's like, "Oh no, I'm not going to the gym because everybody else was late because the
Mhm.
trains were fucked up." But he
Yep.
was there whenever they got it.
And that's when you learn that the bird has taught him teleportation magic.
The bird hasn't
Well, the
taught
bird
him teleportation, but the bird
uses
is
teleportation magic.
trying to teach it to him. He's having trouble grasping it, but the bird does teleport him places.
Yes.
Which is so he looks much brighter and he's much more efficient at work because he doesn't have to commute anymore.
Yeah, if
He
only.
just gets up in the morning and gets dressed and
Yep.
washes himself and has a nice breakfast, and then the bird just zaps him to his fucking job.
Yep. This is the dream, honestly.
This is a mild dream. This is the smallest we can ask from life.
This
But
if you have to have work, this is it, right?
but yeah, and he gets teleported out over there. Is this when the guy asks him to like just like, I need to ask you a question? Um, yeah, we can say that's here.
We could
It's
say
fine.
that's here, I guess. Oh, this is a long episode. We didn't
There's
discuss
a
this,
lot of
but
things
like
happening.
this is a double almost it's like a time and a half longer than usual episode.
It's a little bit of a lengthy pilot, and I understand why. They have a lot of shit
They have so
to
much
do.
stuff they have to introduce you to in this one.
So he has a little conversation with him. He's just like, "Yeah, I want you to come join me because I'm gonna start a startup."
Yep.
He's just like, and now, yeah, I understand you've got a stable job and everything. So even if you just wanted to observe for like a year before joining us for good, I'd be good with that. And he's just like, "Oh yeah, well, you gotta give me time to think about it. My life's gonna become really busy." And he's just like, "Oh, did something happen?" He's just like, "Yeah, I got a pet." And the guy's just like, "Huh?" And he's just like,
Okay.
"Yeah, little did you know, this pet is actually making my life very busy because they have hit upon a scheme. What they do is they go to
So
the
funny.
company and they just buy like packaged goods and shit. They buy chocolate and and like rice balls and
Uh-huh.
miso snacks
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff like that and office supplies and shit, and they take it to the other world and trade it with the like merchants guild, who is always astonished at the fucking pack and processed goods that they can
They're just
bring,
like, "Oh, this quality.
because
We've
he's
never
just like,
seen
I've
anything
never
like
seen
it."
this much chocolate in my life. So he's making like millions of yen in gold, but he can't
He can't
like
really convert it, so it doesn't translate to that much extra right now, right?
because if you think about it, it would be really difficult to like convert fantasy gold coins into any kind of
Yes.
wealth in the real world, because taxation organizations are going to come around and start asking questions.
Uh-huh.
So he's doing it on the down low. He's reinvesting in the community, as it
Yes.
were. He eats at the tavern. He enjoys lavish meals because
Mhm.
this money can buy him that. At one point, in one of the taverns he's eating at. Oh, and this is a really good place to put my favorite thing that happened. I'm gonna post a screenshot because there's a scene where they are talking in
Yes,
the
please.
tavern. Oh, I don't have the screenshot anymore. Shit.
Oh man.
I replaced it with the blurb, but they are sitting there in the tavern talking about business strategy, and he is eating, and the bird is eating his own meal that he brought
Yeah.
of like hamburger steak or anything, and he's just like whipping it around, and it's fucking Bruce in his eating dome again.
Uh-huh.
The bird is just destroying this meal.
Hungry. He's so hungry.
He's such a hungry little bastard. And it really
Oh,
made me laugh. But like at one point, like they eat at a restaurant and then they leave, and one of the chefs gets thrown out the back because according to the others, he was like embezzling. But what it really was is he was the most talented apprentice, and the others got jealous of him. So he's just
yeah.
like, hey, I trade in a lot of food now. I kind of want to get into the restaurant business. So he's just like, hey, French, because this guy's name is French, which is very funny. French,
Mm-hmm.
the isekai chef in a world without France.
Yes.
It's just like, you want to start a restaurant with me? And he's just like, not me.
Yeah.
And he's just like, yeah, I traded a lot of food and I have contacts in the Merchants Guild. So they just get him a storefront and he just pays him with his obscene fantasy wealth.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like, recreate some of the food stuffs I bring back, and you'll be really popular. And it just works out.
Yep.
So he's having a great time.
Yep.
Um, and he's really starting to approach success. The only problem is he still doesn't have that much money in the real world.
Yeah.
So he's somewhat limited in the stock he can buy for trading. Um, he does want to, and his goal in the other world is to make contact with the nobility so that he could like, really, really enter the stratosphere of economics.
Yeah.
At least personal economics, as much as one salary man can achieve.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and he eventually does get an in with him. So he goes to the store to make sure to buy some like outdoors goods.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because he's just like, I heard nobles like hunting, and the bird is just like, yeah, it's just rather like this golf you have in your world. And he's just like, what do you mean? It's just like, I've learned a lot. I've made use of your internet.
This scene is this scene made me laugh so
It's a
hard.
great scene because he comes home one day and the bird is sitting on this horrible mud man's shoulder while it types away, and he's just like, what is that? And he's like, Golem.
Bird on the internet. What will he do?
He's going to order Wagyu beef.
Everyone's
He needs it. He
meat.
needs to get it.
That really was the
Going to
entire
starve.
that was the whole thing. It was just image searches of Kobe beef marblings.
He's so hungry.
He's so fucking hungry. Um, we forgot to mention that he's been teaching Sasuke a little bit of magic, and Sasuke's been picking it up. The only problem is he doesn't quite have the teleportation one down. It's a long chant, and he can't remember.
Yeah. He does
But,
try and practice a spell in the bathroom and accidentally like sets a fire alarm
I don't know
off.
why he picked fire to choose to practice at work. It seems a little foolish.
No one caught him or anything. It could have gone so much worse.
Let's see. At one point, he runs into the neighbor girl again, and she's sitting outside as usual, and he's just like, is everything all right? And she's just like, I think she brought a man home again, and he's just like, oh,
Oh man.
you want this chocolate bar that I won at the company? I feel bad for you. Here, take it.
Yeah.
This moment of kindness will harm him later, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's
That's
coming
what's going to
back to
happen.
bite him, I'm pretty sure.
But yeah, things are going pretty well. And eventually he's invited to go to his Kohai's like going away party, because he's going to make a real go of the startup thing. So he's just like, oh, I better go to that party. Like,
Yeah.
even if I don't have that much money in this world, it would be rude not to. So he goes with him, and he's just like, they have a great time. He's just like, you sure you're not going to join the startup with me? It's just like, Eto, I've got a really stable job,
Yeah.
Things are tight, and I don't want to take too many risks. He's just like, well, I understand. And while they're doing this, on the TV in the background, you can see that there's a crime report about attacks in the local area. And as he's walking home drunk, he actually stumbles across an incident. A man is standing over a young woman in an alleyway, and he's just like, "Oh no!" And he almost goes to leave, but he can't bring himself to. And whenever he peeks again, he sees that the man has turned his arm into a blade, and he's just like, "What the
He's like,
hell?"
what? Huh?
And he was
That's not
alerted to this
normal.
situation because something whizzed past his face, and we learned, and we would have noticed, maybe he didn't, that it was an icicle. And he's just like, "Oh, what do I do? That's so strange. How can he do that? Is it like somebody from Peeps world?" Because that's a logical assumption to
It
make,
would make
actually.
sense if Peeps has come over. Maybe there's more that have come over.
But he's just like, I can't do nothing. So he casts his ice spell that he knows. He thunks an icicle into this guy's back, and is just like, "Oh shit! Oh god, he's just freezing all over. If I
Like, oh
don't know
no,
how
I
to
can't stop
stop
the
it.
ice.
If I don't, he's just gonna die." Except the frost stops because the woman on the ground waved her hand. He's
Dun
like,
dun dun.
curious. And then the guy just passes out because he's had a big hole punched in his shoulder, and he's probably very cold.
Yes.
And the woman immediately stands up and brushes herself off and pulls a gun on Sasaki. And he's just like, "Oh, what a pistol?" And she's just like, "What kind of psychic are you?" And he's just like, "What do you mean?" It's
Are
just
you
like, "How long
registered?
have you had that ability?" And he's just like, "A couple of days." He's just like, "Oh God, did I get saved by a wild a wild psychic?" And she's just like, "What do you? Oh shit, what did I get into? Oh my
Uh-oh.
God!" She's just like, "You should come with me." Uh, and she's just like, I really got it. It's just like, it's not really optional."
Nope.
And she kind of hijacks him. And he's just like, "Well, if I'm going to come with you, can I at least stop by my house before?" And he's just like, "Yeah, you should get some clothes. You'll probably be overnight." And he's just like, "Oh, what the fuck?"
My job? We'll cover it.
Um, and he comes back, and the girl next door is just like, "Hey, I need to talk to you for a moment." And he's just like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm in a real rush." And he goes in and he talks to Peeps about it, and Peeps is like, "Huh, that's pretty fucking weird.
Mm-hmm.
I don't sense
Mm-hmm.
any magic on them." Just like, "What do you
Mm-hmm.
mean?" It's like, "Well, maybe your world has a ability that's analogous to magic, but works by different rules." And he's just like, "That'd be unprecedented to discover." The boy are you about to discover?
Oh, he's gonna discover, all
So
right.
he gets roped into this job interview, basically. Um, she's just like, "Yeah, you'll be working here now." And he's just like, "Wait, what?" He's just like, "Yeah, we're gonna cover for you at work, but you'll have a government salary." He's just like, "Oh, Naruhodo,"
Mm-hmm.
because it's far outstripping what he's making at the trading company.
Mm-hmm.
And she gets really excited about it. She's like, "What can you actually do?" And it's just like, if I tell her too much, she'll be suspicious. And she lays out that like all of the known psychics only have like one ability. They can
Yep.
get stronger, but they don't never have multiple abilities. And he's just like, just shooting icicles." Uh-huh. And she's just like, "Show me." So he generates one, and she's just like, you can I that's what I thought. You can generate them from nothing. That dovetails with my ability really nicely because I can manipulate water and its temperature, but I can't make it from nothing. And this way I'll be able to take on even more dangerous assignments and make even more money. And he's just like, "I think I've fallen in with a very dangerous person."
Yeah. He's like, oh no, no, no.
I feel for him, really. Every few steps, something new and fucking strange happens to
Yep.
Sasaki.
He can't
Yeah.
escape.
He can't escape it. So yeah, he gets roped into this. He meets. She wakes him up at like 6 in the morning. Uh, he's got the bird with him, but the bird has to act like a bird because they're just like, we
Yeah.
can't really talk.
We might
He
be
at
bugged
the
or
same
something.
At the same time, he goes on walks and stuff. He gets followed by government agents. He goes into a combini bathroom so he can transport to the other world and tell his contacts that he can't that there's going to be a delay in the trading volume.
We didn't even
And
get
he's
to
gotta, he's got to pay French.
yeah, we didn't even get to like really elaborate on the part where he he got to a point where he was like trading with like nobles in the other world and setting stuff up like that.
Yeah.
There's just so much happening that you
He
can't
got an
really.
invitation to deal with the noble house of the area. And then the noble was like actually very shrewd, so he had to be
Yeah.
very careful about what he said to him.
Yeah.
His cover story is that he's not an aristocrat. He's a craftsman from overseas, and what he sells is a combination of shit that he makes himself and stuff that he had on his ship
Yeah.
when it crashed.
Yeah.
And he's just like balancing on the head of a pin.
It's wild.
He gets woken up by the agent who recruited him at like 6 in the morning because he's just like, yeah, let's go get it. And he's just like, can I talk to anyone else in this organization?
I
Can I
need to
be
make
like
sure this
my
is on the up and up.
supervisor to understand like what we're gonna do? And she's just like, no, it'll be fine. We'll stop by the bureau afterwards. And she gets stopped by her supervisor. It's like, yeah, I saw you jet out really early this morning, so I followed you to find out why.
She's
He's
like,
just like, this isn't very appropriate. We have to put Sasaki through training and everything. And he gives him another phone.
yep.
Just be like, they'll call you on this whenever they're ready for you. And you can use this to text me if you need to. And he's just looking at the phone. He's keep it on you at all times. It's just like, even in my off hours, you might be needed for emergency jobs. And he's just like, oh shit.
Oh
Okay,
man.
wait, I can leave. If it gets too bad, I
If it
can
go in the
leave
other
this in the
world.
other world. It won't have signal and they won't be able to track my GPS.
We need to also underline this new job is not optional. He simply is not
It is
given a
not
choice.
optional.
He
He
has
is
to do
now
this.
the government and their
Yeah.
secret psionic research and
Yeah.
suppression unit
It's wild.
to hunt super criminals.
Yeah.
So he does his training and he learns about he learns the secret truth. And he's just like, oh, okay, this, and then there's all this protocol, and he's just like, hey, can I ask what's her name? Her name is Hoshizaki-san. He's
Yeah.
just like, can I ask what Hoshizaki-san does? And he's just like, well, I'm not sure I can really reveal that. Just talk about that willy-nilly. Why do you ask? He's just like, well, I think I might be paired up with her. And the guy's just like, oh, what can I say to that? Good luck. Gambare. He's just like, oh shit, is she that bad?
Oh man. Why?
And then he goes home after his day of training where he left Peeps at home. And he runs into the neighbor girl again. And she walks up to him and he's just like, oh yeah, didn't you wanted to talk about something, right? And she's like, oh yeah, you remembered that? And she's just like, who was that woman you were with last night? Are
Was that
you
your
dating her?
girlfriend?
He's just like, no, she's just my superior at work. And she's just like, oh, I had the wrong idea. And she's just like, here, I wanted to give you this. And she's got like clearly like homemade cookies. He's just like, you said you weren't a chocolate guy, but are you a cookie guy? He's just like, oh, thank you. That's so thoughtful. I'll really enjoy these. And whenever he says that, she like blushes and runs away. And she's just
Yeah,
like,
this is a baffling
oh.
interaction.
He's just like, oh no, you've got like a teenage yandere
Yeah.
admirer going on.
Yeah,
This is gonna be this is gonna be so bad for you.
Yeah.
Oh, she's gonna learn about all your bullshit because she's gonna stalk you.
Yup.
Oh God.
Oh.
He goes into his house and the bird starts going fucking crazy. He's just like, oh, do you want to go for a walk? And he sets down the phone like he's just like, oh, it's clearly the phone is the problem. And he takes the bird out and they're sitting down and he's just like, a man entered your apartment today. He's just like, what? He's just like, he installed something weird on your computer. He's just like, oh, they're probably they're probably surveilling me because of the government job now. He's just like that clearly wasn't somebody you know. It's just like, oh God, we have to be careful about this. So he goes home and disassembles the bug. And then his boss calls him and he's just like, bravo, you've passed my first test.
And it's like, what? What do
It's
you
like, what do you
mean?
mean? It's just like, well, we have a lot of people who object to our work, and if they found a bug, they wouldn't necessarily turn it off immediately. They might use it to try and manipulate us, and it's just like
Uh-huh.
layers and layers on top of.
Yeah. He's
And
like, this is too much for one day. Come on.
when he finally hangs up on him, he's just like, I'm so tired. It's just like, aren't we supposed to go buy stock for the trading business? And he's just like, how about we just put it off for tonight? And he just rolls over, and the bird is just like, hey, you haven't bought my dinner yet.
I need my dinner. Human.
That is pretty
Human.
much. Oh yeah, and then it cuts to his boss doing some like spooky shit.
Yeah.
He's just like, yes, Sasaki, I'm sure you'll be useful to me.
God.
What the hell is this show?
Leave
Call him
this
Spook for a reason.
leave this poor man alone. Substantive things that we have to say about this show.
Yep.
I clocked almost no music. Either it didn't exist or it was so inoffensive it did not register with me at all.
I don't
Except for
remember
obviously
hearing music either.
there was
There
an
was
end
like an
theme.
end credit
but,
scene. Like it was kind of, it was like whatever.
It was okay.
It's sort of just like
it was
bland.
normal.
It was fine.
The animation in this is nothing to write home about. It's not exceptional, but it's competent, and I like the character designs. Like Sasaki looks exactly like he should. He looks like a
He
completely
looks like a
normal
39-year-old plain man.
But he's got enough expressiveness in his face to make jokes land properly.
Yeah. Actually, it's kind of funny because the different characters from different genres actually do slightly like their design work does make them feel like they're from different genres. Like
like the neighbor girl is like very anime.
She's
but
very
like,
anime.
Very like normal core anime. So
yeah,
she's from the romance show where they
got, like,
don't have different colored hair.
Swoosh hair. Hoshizaki has like purple eyes.
Yeah, she's got purple eyes, which yeah, she kind of reminds me of the Oshinoko lady.
A little bit. Then all of the guys in like what French has like this big red fringe hair thing.
Yeah, the fantasy people are largely like German coded. A lot of them are blondes.
Yeah.
And Peach-Ann is a bird. But
and we love him.
so yeah. Business aside, what do we think of this? Michael, you haven't said too much. What do you think?
I didn't like it.
Oh, good. Okay, what's your beef?
My beef is that, how do I describe it? Everything that happens is interesting, but it's told in such a placid and boring way that it like takes away from it for me.
Oh yeah?
I just think that like it honestly feels like they adapted a radio play, or like, I mean,
this
it
was
is
a light novel,
but I feel like it's really got the light novel stink on it in a way that I don't think works for me.
Understandable.
It's very lit RPG, which is not my taste.
I wasn't necessarily assuming this would be your cup of tea.
Yeah,
but like most things aren't.
It is a review show, and I have to be the I have to review it.
We can't all like them all the time. It's fine.
Yeah.
I like I fully like the idea of this show where you just take like a normal man and just put him in situations.
Yes, I am here for the fact that they're throwing. So, like, if this was just one idea,
with the pull up that image of the frog with the flintlock. It's like, don't ever put me in a situation.
For me, the fact that if this was just like, if this was only slice of life, let's say, or if this was only isekai, I think I would have been less interested. But the fact that they're doing like 7 different things is kind of making it work more for me.
Layer 1 was enough.
Layer 1 would have been at least like popcorn anime.
Man and his talking bird was actually kind of enough. to like write a show around.
Yeah,
But then you
sure.
add another layer on top of
Then you
it, and it's
add
just like Anime Man and his talking bird and their fucking Spice and Wolf trading empire. And then it's Anime Man and his talking bird get fucking co-opted into the government.
into the government psychic
into the
mandated job
into the
society.
psychic police force.
And also there's a girl now.
And
Question
then he
mark?
has a yandere stalker who's a teenage girl that he actually has no interest in, but he
Uh-huh.
doesn't understand what's happening.
Uh-huh.
Like, just adding it's proof that you can just sort of add things on top of each other, and if you're
Yes.
slick enough, you can actually make it more and more interesting as you go.
You can make it work. This man has to
I-
be the most tired man in the fucking world. I was getting tired just like thinking about having all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You want to have the like last episode where he's just like fucking haggard and he's got the bags under his eyes,
Circles. Yeah.
and he's like visibly thin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My simple life.
I am looking at stills from other episodes, and there is straight up a Final Fantasy man in there with him. What does this poor bastard have to contend
Oh,
with?
man.
When I said I saw a character that made me terrified for him in
Okay,
the list.
yeah, what was that?
Okay, yeah, we have characters like Sasaki and Otonari-san and
Mm-hmm.
Hojizaki-san, but
Mhm.
also we have Mueller and people from the fantasy world like
Sure.
Elsa. But then we also have Magical Pink.
What?
Yeah.
Magical
Is this gonna be a
Pink.
magical girl anime as
Is
well?
there a magical girl? Has a magical girl struck the
Magical
anime?
girl anime
So extra.
has struck
The anime.
the anime, yes. I want there to be a magical girl. Please, for the love of everything good, throw an anime girl in here. What
Well,
else can we add? I don't know.
So for my part, I have to watch another episode.
Yeah, I'm pretty much have
The
to
hook is
watch
strong
more of
enough
this as
that I have
well.
to know where it's going.
Yeah.
Oh God, she's in the. I just realized she's in the like promotional image. I see her
wow.
flying in the background.
Oh. Oh wow.
So crazy. I want to rephrase my review, which is that I feel like the story itself is fun, but I think that the way it was told, it's just really bad.
It's too. It's not. What is it?
It's
Is
not
it not
what you're
lighting up your
into.
nerves enough?
Listen,
you
I
say?
can respect that you have tastes. I do not, and I will be consuming much more of this. This
Right.
has oh yeah, I like to check whenever I likes or like something enough to maybe watch more. I like to see how much more there will be. This
Mhm.
has 12 total at the time. 12 episodes. It aired through March 22nd. There is a second season announced.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting
There's
more.
gonna be more.
We're getting more Peach-on. And
Yeah.
I could eat this. I could eat this.
All right. Well, if you've got a talking bird telling you to kill in your home, you can tell us about that at oneepisodecast@gmail.com.
That is one the word, not the number. Hey, you need to go order your bird some delicious Wagyu steak.
Fucking Wagyu beef.
You better get on that. And then after that, you can tweet us.
Get that disgusting gold leaf steak.
You better feed that bird some high class shit.
Make that bird a martini when you.
Don't even think about tweeting us until you've fed that bird a feast. Anyhow, we are at One Episode Cast on Twitter and Blue Sky. Send us pictures of your meal before you feed your bird. I don't know. Whatever.
All right. You have the okay. Thought experiment. You have the ability to take a modern item to the isekai to sell to the locals. What have you picked? What store have you entered and taken stuff?
Deep fried stickers.
I will be teaching the next world how to vape. So they better look forward to that. It's gonna blow their fucking minds.
Spoken like people who haven't played shitloads of like Civilization or like fucking Crusader Kings. I'm
Uh-huh.
just showing up with salt. I am buying just 45 pounds of Mortons, and I'm going to become the richest person who has ever fucking lived in their
Honestly,
universe.
yeah, that's a pretty good answer too.